Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and today we are taking some serious revenge on this Spiritus tree. So, for those of you unfamiliar with the fight, this fight is an example of the type of fight that drives me crazy in DFFOO. Like, yes, hard content is okay, I like difficult fights, no issue with that, but I hate when a fight is so ridiculously restrictive where it basically requires 1 to 2 specific characters in the game. There's very little flexibility in how the fight operates. So what you're going to see in this fight, one is like the ads on the side. They're very aggressive. Like, you can get killed pretty quick early, but that's fine. We can deal with that kind of stuff. We can deal with damage, right? And you can see our damage here is not very good, right? Like, you can see we're doing weak damage. We're doing a lot of ones. Like, a lot of damage reduction this boss has, things like that. But we can, that kind of stuff isn't a problem. We can get around that normally. The thing that drives me crazy about this fight is when the boss hits a certain threshold, lower, I think it's like the last 19% of its health, it literally only takes damage during a launch. So if you are not constantly launching, and then not only that, doing really good HP damage during the launch, the boss is basically impossible to kill. And you might be saying, well, it's pretty easy to put launch on. You could do selfie friend, whatever, all that, or run selfie in the team. Sure, getting launch isn't the hard part. The part that's hard is, once again, you only deal damage during the launch. So the initial hit to launch the enemy will do 0. And then when you're launching, you're just getting the HP attacks there. And the reason why you need Reigns is Reigns has the really, really powerful follow-up, especially with the BT. Well, normal characters, a boss like this is a Spiritus boss with a crap ton of HP. 19% is a literal eternity, especially if you're only doing it during launch. So the way I got around this fight before, this was the Enna Crow cheese initially, where Enna Crow would do so much damage in a single hit, you would bypass that last phase and just kill him. But you had to time it just right. Like, it had to be perfect. It took me several tries, right? So even when I was trying to cheese it, it's still difficult, because if you let this boss be alive when it's in that threshold, then it's game over. You don't win if you don't have Reigns, right? So what Quina is going to allow us to do is we can just run the fight however the heck we want, use whatever characters we want, because when Quina's BT effect is up, we deal max capped HP damage no matter what. So when this tree goes into its stupid phase where it only takes launch damage, doesn't matter. We are going to deal full HP damage anyways, and so we are going to give this boss the smacking it deserves for being such an annoying character in the game. So we're essentially just kind of trying to set up right here, right? Now, we did notice with Quina, we put a call on. So we got a little bit of extra stuff going on with the call. And then Quina, is it time? Is it BT time? Because we're at max force. Yep, so, and we decide to, now with this setup, we can't go Quina burst phase. This is a setup where we're being aggressive with the main DPS. So we are using Quina's green burst finisher, and then we are going to go into Tifa burst phase is the plan, right? Obviously, though, it takes a little bit, because before we can go into Tifa burst phase, we need Tifa's green BT effect up, and we need to have a force effect up. So a few things still have to happen. Now, these leaf arrows, like, they will flat out kill you. So we are riding a Rydia call and a Raijin call too. So we even though we're cheesing it, quote unquote, like, we still need calls, because these the like I said, these ads will kill you. Like, so you got to be careful, right? So here we go. We're hopping into FR. I'm still a little worried here because the bosses are getting a lot of attacks. It's just a matter of how many Rydia dodges we have left, and I think we got a decent amount of Rydia dodges left to be okay. So now we're in force. Yep, and we're getting misses from the Rydia call. That one we finally ran out of Rydia, but we're okay still. So at this point, I think we're just going to... Oh yeah, and I wanted Mustard Bomb on because I wanted traps. So I do use up a force turn to do that. Now, in retrospect, I probably just sort of echoed there, because the Mustard Bombs aren't going to matter as much, because most of the damage doesn't come in Tifa's burst phase, and the Mustard Bomb can't go off anyways, right? So I probably... Because we get into the burst a little bit later than I actually wanted to. Didn't matter, though. We still have plenty of damage. Dude, Tifa with Quina is insane. Like, putting up really big fat numbers. The thing is characters that are already really strong, like Tifa, it's not like you put Quina in and they're like a completely different character, because really good characters like Tifa, like, they already cap on their HP damage a lot of times anyways. It's when you see characters that maybe aren't as good, or that, you know, they need a lot of brave help and maybe they don't have it, they can still hit that cap, right? Like characters like Gladio countering, doesn't really matter what he gets on the brave hits, he'll still do crazy damage, right? Or if you're launching and you don't have battery and your characters have 0 damage, you'll still deal full damage. Like, it's pretty wild. So I'd say the weaker the character is normally, the more you notice Quina's impact, I would say. Characters with a lot of dumps are very impacted because they're getting max HP damage on all the dumps. So I'm thinking of something like Machina's BT HP plus attack. Gonna look really dang good with Quina because it's a lot of dumps, right? Crazy stuff like that. Like someone like Pinello, I don't even know if you'll notice much of a difference because Pinello's already got so much battery and stuff. But, you know, we could do some runs with Pinello too. There's like so many characters I want to run with Quina just to see what they look like, right? All right, so we got the gauge up to 385, now up to 460. We did just drop Tifa's BT effect. Now, realistically, right now is when I want to go Tifa Burst. The problem is we've got another Quina turn and we got another Aerith turn, but we can force here. So that's going to save us a turn. But the problem is Aerith, unfortunately, is out. So Aerith is going to have to eat a turn to put us to turn 6. And then I do want to put Rain's Call on for launching, so we're actually going to go in at turn 5, which is not when I would like to go in. I usually like to go into Burst on turn 7 or 8 to force, but that's fine, because we have so much damage, it really doesn't matter. We can go in a little bit later, we can be a little bit sloppy with it. So I opt to do a Fury Brand here. Do that. The reason why I wanted to Fury Brand is I know it heals, and I wanted to get a little bit more on her overhead. Her overhead still isn't maxed out, but the laser's still dealing very good damage, so I decide to, let's do Rains here. So once again, this is going to put us at turn 5, a little bit lower than I'd like to be. But yeah, get the really heavy HP damages. And then Rains hitting really heavy at the end. So yeah, we just did 15 mil on a Rains Call. Pretty good for a freaking call, right? So now we go into burst phase, and Tifa's going to blow it up. We just blow it up at this point. Everything she does is going to be ridiculous damage. We're already at 700%. That's the good thing. Sure, we're going to that turn 5, but we're already at 700 freaking percent. Look at that. Tifa dealing ones, doesn't matter. Max damage, and she brave gains a lot anyways. So what do we got here? Tifa doing insane things, seeing the max damage on every single number. HP damage. Look at it. Aerith, 0 brave, did 1.5 mil. And then we just did a 30 mil launch. So I was at 700%. We already did 30 mil on the launch. Took a big chunk out of that tree. Tifa's like a chainsaw just going right through this thing at this point. So sure, let's full throttle. This is an HP plus attack. Does a lot of dumps. Very good damage. And then launch damage. And see, normally the weakness here is like, look, Aerith has no brave. But now we can just HP plus anyways and still do 1.6 mil, 31 mil launch. So we're at the point now, every button that Tifa presses is going to be 30 mil or more. And it's only going to get better as the gauge increases. The thing we're waiting for is when we get to the last turn of force, we are dropping the FR. That is the Big Daddy attack for Tifa during one of these. So we're going to hit some nice numbers here. Quina doing some things. Aerith doing some things. 36 mil, sure. Pretty decent little shot there at 36 mil. I think we Dolphin Blow here. Because Dolphin Blow does good damage. We already got the launching, but sure, we'll take it. Still nice damage. Yeah, Tifa just feels so satisfying to play. Like, her numbers are crazy. Look at that. No Brave, doesn't matter. Max damage. No Brave, doesn't matter. Max damage. 41 mil. So you can see this Spiritus tree, which has a ton of health, we literally melted it. It was at like 70-something%, I think, when we started. It was above 50 for sure. And we just melted this tree away. And here's the thing. It would normally be like in a phase where we can't do anything. It doesn't matter. I mean, Force Echo helps get this done too, because it's pretty easy to like do a lot of stuff. But yeah, we just had to give this tree some serious pain. Some serious pain. Here's our big force attack. What do we got from that? Sure, 67 mil. Pretty decent. Pretty decent little shot there. Aerith's bomb there at 4 mil. Now here's how you know the tree's in stupid mode. Aerith's bomb did 0 damage. Remember, Aerith's off turn is not affected by Quina. So you saw that was 0 damage. So we would have been doing 0 damage through all this. So Quina is bypassing some garbage right now. That is what Quina is doing. Bypassing the garbage. 39 mil on that one. Because even if you're in a burst phase, if you enter it, it still takes effect, right? Like literally the only way to get past it before with kind of cheesing it was getting him to just the percentage right before he was about to go into it. And you do one Enacro shot to like finish him is what I had done. So there we go. 215 mil burst phase single target. Absolutely blew that tree up thanks to Tifa and Quina. This is a pretty busted team, by the way. This specific team build, this can probably beat the entire game, no problem. So anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think of this Tifa run. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.